So I'm not going to go into detail for these, but I'm going to tell you, I'm going to show you that it is just a simple process. Okay. So the first is offer. You're going to choose between three things. It's pretty simple. All of this is simple. You're either going to use my lab framework, which means, and take notes. I'm not going to slow down. Take notes if you need to. You're either going to use my lab framework, which means something that I learned, something that I then applied. I did it for myself or for someone else. And then something that benefited. Is that same thing that I learned and applied something that also benefited me or somebody else? If that's the case, then that is a beginning of an offer. And there are multiple ways you can deliver that offer. And inside of our classroom, again, take this note if you haven't taken this note yet. Inside of our classroom, you can go scroll down a little bit and you'll see 5K core training. If you click into the 5K core training, I break down step by step what each of these main ways to deliver your offer is and how you do it. Because why? Say it in the chat. What am I pointing at, if you can see it? No excuses. Say it in the chat. Well, I don't know what to offer. I'm telling you. Now, I said either. So you could do that, or you could go over to my GPT, which is on day one, is provided to you on day one of the 5-day challenge. It's also provided to you inside of the 5 core training. I highly recommend you use the prompts that I give you in the GPT. And 2 days ago, I updated the GPT. So it's even better now. Or if you are someone, I'm only mentioning this because I've heard so many people on YouTube and in this very membership say, I don't know what to offer still. If you don't know what to offer still, but you do want to get started with the rest of these, just promote your first 5K. I'm not going to beat around the bush anymore. Your first 5K, which is what you're in right now, if you're watching this, is a membership. You see by the fact that I'm going live right now. I'm going live right now. I'm someone who makes more than $3,000 a day. I get paid like $25,000 to $50,000 to speak at events, and I'm pouring into this membership that is free. You see that it's valuable. It may have even helped you already. And all you're doing when you're your first 5K AF, I did that on purpose, AF, affiliate. When you do that, when you are your first 5K AF, you promote it. And when you promote it, some of the people who you bring in will purchase something at some point. And when they purchase something like an upgrade or a one-off thing in the classroom that helps them, you get 50% of that. Somebody say 50% in the comments for me so I can make sure that you're with me. You get 50% of that. How much does it cost to upgrade to VIP? Anybody know that answer? How much does it cost? $360 as of right now. It could go up, and it probably will because it's worth a lot more than that. What is 50% of 360? And if you don't know, look in the chat to see the answer. What is 50% of 360? 180. How long at your current job does it take for you to make $180? How many hours? You can say it in the chat or you can just tell it to yourself. So for some people it's 1, for some people it's 3, for some people it's 11. And what I'm saying is one person seeing the value in an upgrade could make that for you truly passively. So you're going to choose one of these 3. Okay? Somebody say offer in the chat. You're going to choose the lab. You're going to come from your own experience and figure that out on your own. Again, with my help, I have all kinds of help inside the classroom to really dial in on this. I don't leave you hanging. Or you're going to use the GPT, and the GPT is just going to tell you. You may ask it one or two or three times, but you're going to find something that you like. So many people, who here has used the GPT and thought it did a good job? So many people have done that over the past several. I get a lot of hands up and the emojis, a lot of people in the chat. It's great. So many people. So do we have any excuses for not having an offer? If there are any excuses left, please tell me. And I'm being serious because I want to address it. I'm being serious. I'm not going to pick on you. I want to address it. Okay. No excuses. We have an offer. Yes, ma'am. I love it. Okay. Now, 2, do not phase out during this part or fade out during this part. This is the most important part of the entire part here. And this is the reason I'm doing this. Let me go back for a second. Somebody just said I started, but I'm a little confused about which one I want to start, which offer. What you're going to do with this exercise of the 5-day challenge, your first 5K, listen to me, everybody. What you're going to do is you're not going to go and try to find the offer that will be your lifetime offer that you do for the rest of your life. You're going to find an offer that aligns with what you want to do right now. Is this making sense? Because what are we trying to do? We're trying to make money. You're trying to get more money into your bank account than you had last week. So if you spend, and I'm not picking on anybody, I appreciate you telling me this. Let me tell you, everybody, if you spend days, weeks, months, and I've seen people take years to decide on an offer, then you will waste all that time and all that money and all that effort and all that momentum. If you do not have an offer, do your first 5K for a couple of months. Okay? Do something. Somebody say do something. Do something. The reason somebody said I'm in ass kicking mode. I try not to be, but the reason I'm in this mode and mood is because I just see potential wasted. I just see days and weeks and months wasted over some bullshit. You just over something that is, there are really some, I got into a car because I didn't knock wood. Something happened with my family. I hear those. I'm not saying those are excuses, but I'm saying the ones where it's like, well, I don't know if I should put a red logo or a purple logo. Meanwhile, everybody around you over here making hand over fist. Come on. So let's get back into mindset. I cannot teach you. If we're going to be real, I can try. Like, I have an entire module in the classroom where I'm talking about overcoming fear. I can talk to you about mindset. I can give you examples. I can remind you of things. But I can't teach you to want this more. I can't teach you that. But let me tell you what's really awesome is that you can learn it. You can learn it by living. You can learn it by looking at your current circumstances and saying, I need more. I want better than this. I want more than this. I'm tired of this. If you feel that way in any way, shape, or form, I want today to be your wake-up call. I need it to be your wake-up call. Anybody watching this till the end of time, today is the day. You didn't do it yesterday. We're going to kick ourselves because we didn't do it last month or last year. But we're doing it now, aren't we? So I'm not going to sit here and talk about mindset for an hour. I'm going to tell you, I can't teach you mindset, but you can learn it. So what are you willing to do to go out and learn it? Go out and change your mindset. Put yourself in a position where you're no longer, let's take me for an example, no longer going to sleep on the floor of an airport. No. No longer going to be begging people for money. No. No. Audience. So we have our offer. And again, if you're just joining or if you forgot, choose any offer that feels aligned. Don't choose anything. You don't want to just be a sleazy salesperson. Anything will do. But there's something that's aligned. And if you can't find your own, borrow mine. We're going to get into audience. Audience. Now, has anybody noticed what I put over here? I bet you've seen that the whole time I've been talking. Work for someone else? Question mark. The reason I put that there is because a lot of us already, let me know in the comments if you already work for somebody else. I worked for somebody else for so long, so many different people. Some of us are going to need to continue doing that while we are setting ourselves up for this other stuff. You feel me? Some of us are not working for someone else, but we're broke and we're going to go ahead and need to get a job for a few months. I bet you didn't think I was going to say that. I have a feeling you didn't think I was going to say that. There is nothing wrong with working for somebody else, especially if you're setting yourself up to not work for somebody else. So in other words, work for somebody else for a year, set yourself up for 30. I'd do that. I'd do that. I'd do that today. If I needed to, I would do that today. I haven't worked for someone else in 10 years, 10 years, 10 years. I would do it tomorrow if I needed to. Again, knock wood. If I needed to, I would do it tomorrow. Because now we're going to look at the job as what? The first investor. You know I'm an investor, right? People come to me all the time for a decade. I've invested more than 200 startups. I really enjoy being an entrepreneur more. So I don't do as much investing, but it's still part of my profession. And everybody's always, in that world, in that Silicon Valley world, they're always asking me for money. Always pitch, 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 pitch. You already have an investor. You have yourself. You have your close circle. And you have a job that you can probably get. Now, if you can't find a job, people being laid off, I know that. I understand that. Been in that position too. I've had to lay people off. That sucked, but that's not as bad as being laid off. But I just want to plant that for you because I want to tell you that there's nothing to be ashamed of. And in fact, it's strategic. I need you to have health insurance if you can. I need you to have shelter. I need you to be able to eat well. But while you're doing that, let me tell you what's going to make me really upset is that you're doing that and you're not doing anything to get yourself out of the situation that you're working for somebody else. Does that make any sense? Even if it's 30 minutes a day doing something. Now, I know you all are in the position. You're here right now. So you are obviously doing something. But think about it. You're in that position, you're in that job so you can make a better way. So you can have I have stability so I can follow my dreams. And then you're not following your dreams? Okay? Now, I see comments here and there. Listen, I'm not saying anything is for everybody. That's never going to be the case. For some people, you're not going to go and work for somebody else. But I said, if we rewound the tape, like the Super Bowl, I said, some of y'all. How do we define y'all? You all. Some of you, not all of you. So that's what we're going to do. Audience. This is an interesting one for me because I have interviewed so many millionaires, six-figure naires, uh, eight-figure naires. I've interviewed them and I've asked them, what do you think? Is it more important to have an audience built or something, to sell or something, an offer? And it's like half the answers. And it really just depends. I think that's what it comes down to. But if you had to choose, let's say you had to choose, you're on a game show or something, and you have to choose in order to keep going. Choose audience first. Audience does not get built overnight. Does everybody understand that? Audience does not get built overnight. Somebody's asking about my new offer. Oh, oh, I don't even know if it's on there. It's not on the front page of that. I'm not going to say that. It is $9.99 for now. It'll always go up as my YouTube channel goes up. But I have linked to it in a post. So look for a YouTube interview in the search. Thanks for asking. Choose audience first. Yeah, let's go. Do it. Manitou says, thank you, Arlan. I'll catch the rest in the replay. I need to go make videos right now so I can get out of my situation of constant drama. Beautiful teaching session. If any of you need to go and do it, do it. But listen, audience first, if you have to choose. If you can do both at once, that's what I would do. So you're going to have your offer, you're going to have an offer, but then you're going to start building your audience because it does not happen overnight. Who here saw, and I just posted it a few hours ago, so it's okay if you didn't see it, but who here saw where I talked about the woman who was 54 who posted a 60-minute video, and it's really on YouTube, and she made $2.9 thousand in the last 10 or in 10 days, in the first 10 days of having it posted on YouTube. And she had an audience though. She had an audience. She didn't start from zero. She started building her audience. And I need you to understand that she had a viral video, 227,000 views as the last time I saw it, as of, and it outperformed. But the way YouTube works is the first 100 subscribers, they sent it to 100 subscribers first. And they said, how does this group of 100 subscribers who already like her, how do they react to this video? Do they watch a lot of it? Do they like it? Do they comment? If so, we're going to send it to 100 people who don't know her, who are similar to these people. And if they also have a good behavior, then we're going to show it to more people. And that's what happened. So one of the things I want to unlock for you when we talk about YouTube is that you not only are looking for these viral breakout moments. I mean, who that may happen once every blue moon, and it might happen. But you're looking for the foundation of it because you need to have a test audience on YouTube for the YouTube algorithm to even know to push it out to other people. So you're going to make videos like we talk about inside of the free YouTube Accelerator Inner Classroom. You're going to make videos that are built to get people to care about what you have to say. You're not looking to get crazy views. You're getting like, 10 views at a time. A subscriber here, a subscriber there. And once you, do this for a few weeks, you'll look up and you'll have 100 subscribers. And then YouTube can do some stuff with that. Anybody hearing that for the first time? Is that turning anybody's gears? You're going to build your audience. And different places call for different things. And there's a lot to learn. But if you say, look, Every day I'm going to come into the classroom and I'm going to learn for 30 minutes. And every day I'm going to learn for 30 minutes something about YouTube or about my offer or about selling or something or about AI to make this even faster. And every day I'm going to take 30 minutes, I'm going to do something about it. I may learn about how to upload a video to YouTube in a video, and then maybe I'll practice it. If you do that for 30 days, for an hour a day, that's 30 hours of training and execution. It could be life-changing, but most people don't think of it that way. Most people are like, well, I got this big mountain I got to climb. I'm not ready. I'm going to go home. Instead of saying, you know what? How do I get to that top of that mountain with one step and then the next step and then the next step? Do that. Build your audience. Community. So content is huge when it comes to audience. Building content in various places. You don't have to post 15 different places or 10 times a week. You don't have to do any of that. But you do need to get started on one. And that's what most people do. They use this excuse of, I can't do all that. Do you understand that most of the people who post multiple times a week have a team? They have a team. If you don't have a team, don't try to compete with them. Just get started. Take the first step. Questions about faceless channels or avatars? The answer is yes. You do not have to be on camera. You can show something, you can demonstrate. I know a woman, she's a Black woman in her 30s. She gets so many views on YouTube and makes about $1 million a year. I know her personally. And what she does for most of her videos, she has not decided to be anonymous, so she does show her face sometimes. But for most of her biggest videos, she is talking on Zoom, showing her screen. Her particular niche is showing people what jobs are available. So she shows job postings. She goes to the place, she didn't even build it. She goes to the listing and she shows it on screen and says, yeah, you should do this. And she helps demystify it for other people. Is there something you could do that around? Now, I personally think you need to have your face there, the thumbnails need your face, etc. But of course, people are making money without doing that. I think you need to do that so you can build brand over time, which compounds and takes you from making, the 5K a month that we're looking for to 50K a month without a lot of extra effort. Because if you're doing all this work anyway, you might as well be doing it in a way that's going to compound later. Let me know in the comments if that makes sense to you. If you're going to do this work anyway, you might as well do it. Now, going back though, you can do faceless. You can demonstrate something. My nephew, he's 15. He loves Legos, loves different miniature, all kinds of characters and stuff. But he does not want to be on camera because, teenagers. He doesn't want to be on camera. He doesn't want his friends at school to see. So you see his hands. We started a YouTube channel with. I started just me and him. You see his hands, and you hear his voice, and he talks about Lego, and he's building that up. He's building up his chops. The first video was very nervous and didn't say a lot of information that was helpful. 10 videos in, 10 weeks in, because we have it on a schedule. 10 weeks in. He's confident. Welcome back to my channel, guys. We're gonna get to right? Because you put in the work. You develop that. He may decide to show his face in 2 years. He may never. But you don't know what you really want until you get started with it. Put in the practice and think about, what if this works? What if this works? What if I do get a video that takes off like the 54-year-old lady And I have all these other videos, and I kinda half did them because I just wasn't really thinking that it was gonna do anything, and everybody can see those videos now. And at this I could have had this opportunity to have a bunch of these videos lifted and exposed, but instead, it's just like this one. Think through that a little bit. Community. We are right now on the school platform. How many people here were not on school before you joined your first 5K? I think I did a survey and a post a few weeks ago, and it was like 50-50, I think. School is a fantastic community. I am one of their ambassadors. I When I first started out of school, August 2024, with Arlan's All Access, um, I think I hit six figures in like days. I know that sounds crazy, but I think I did. I think I did between monthly and yearly. I think it was maybe a month or so. I have to go back and look at it. I won the school games. How? I'm not going to pick on you, but I'm going to tell you that you know what I'm doing here, right? I'm not going to answer how I did that on school in this video, in this live. What I will tell you though is a couple things to the theme of this conversation. One is what's in the classroom? School training. Not all of it yet. I haven't done all of it in your first 5K. I've done most of it in Arlen's All Access. Many people, there are about 200 people in Arlen's All Access who have a school, robust school, because of that training we did. But there is some. When I talk about community, what I'm saying to you is, in an effort to build your audience, nurturing your community is huge. I think I've hit my 30 minutes, but who's gonna time me? Nurturing your community is huge, okay? So you're gonna build an audience, and you're gonna turn that audience into some of them into community. Why is that a good idea? Well, what's happening right now? Like, I get to jump on here and talk to you all, and I can hear questions, and some of your when I can see your posts, and when I look at your posts, some of your posts or your comments trigger YouTube content for me. Because I'm like, oh, people are wondering about that. Let me just make a video about it. Imagine how many different pieces of content you could create just by answering questions inside of a community that you build over 3 months that has the people you want in it. So if you could do that ahead of time and people have fewer and fewer questions when they first greet you on YouTube or Instagram or LinkedIn or Substack, then you're making that time between them not knowing who you are to being like loyal audience shorter and shorter and shorter. Does that make sense? Because your brain trust, it's like when who here used to go to the mall and they would pull you to the side and ask you to watch a movie or ask you to try something, try this detergent and fill out this form. You get to have that in a community. You also get to be around people, even if it's not your community that you host. You get to be around by being in your first 5K, for instance. You get to be around other people going through what you're going through. So how many times have you signed into your first 5K and you've seen a post that's like, that's what I was wondering. I was wondering that too. Or, oh, she did it. I bet I could do that too. Let me go over here. I didn't think of it that way. Let me go over and try that. That's what community builds. And then this is depth. So you want your audience to be built by content, by community. You also want to look for collaboration opportunities. Every single person here, this is where we get back into the no excuses lane. Every single person here, there is a match for you out there in the world. If you go and find it. And I don't mean romantic. I mean, there is at least one person, if not hundreds, who has an audience that is similar to yours. and you maybe have a talent or a skill that you could offer to exchange. You may have an audience of your own because you have 300 people over here on this LinkedIn that you could show their stuff to, but you can collaborate. I'm doing the alliteration on purpose because I want you to remember it. Content, community, collaboration, and yes, capital. Capital is, let me go ahead and just spend some money on some ads. That works too. Now, I don't have this up here at number one because this is actually what you should do when these three things work. You see these three things working for you, and you're like, let me double down on that. Let me double down on that particular lane because I know that people like that. They react to that. This is leverage, right? But these three first. And then another thing that I do, that I don't see a lot of people doing, but I love doing this, is instead of just paying Mark Zuckerberg or whoever, what if I take $200, $300, $500, $1,000, and I've done a lot more than that, you can probably imagine, and I pay someone from the collaboration section. And I say, ooh, you have an audience that is just primed for what I have. I would love to be in front of that audience. Let me support you in this circular economy. So you have a way. This is the number one thing people tell me. I don't have an audience. I'm going to stop for a moment. Way over my 30 minutes. This is going to go for longer. Anybody mind that? I'm going to say this and I'm going to try to be cool. Everybody, every single human being who is an adult, who did not have an audience. I'm going to say it one more time. Every single human being who has an audience today started without an audience, unless maybe they're Blue Ivy. Is her name Blue Ivy? Yeah, that's her name. So when you say to me, or when someone says to me, but Arlan, you have such a large audience. They say it just like that. Even if they're typing, that's how I hear it. But Arlan, you have such a large audience. You have such a large audience. I have an audience. Do you think when I was laying on the floor trying to eat and laying on the ground and at the airport, you think I was over here TikToking? Everybody, and your audience is going to develop, because I've had audiences throughout my life, throughout my adult life, and they change and they develop and they ebb and flow. What I want us all to get into the mindset of is the no excuses. Okay, let's just all agree that y'all don't have an audience. Great. Build an audience. Say it in the chat. I'm going to build one. I'm going to build an audience. I'm going to start today building an audience. I think that and I'm not the only one who thinks this, but I think in about 5 years, in 5 years, we will no longer be able to be anybody in the world and just upload a video to YouTube for free and have it put in front of a bunch of people. I don't know how it's going to change. It could be that YouTube starts charging. It could be that YouTube no longer is a place people go. It could be that we're not using devices like we are now. We're using completely different devices. I don't know what that reasoning will be. But what I do know is that right in this moment, almost every person here watching this live, watching this in the replay, has the ability to upload a video of themselves talking about something, anything almost, unless it's illegal or harmful, and put it out on a platform that is worth, I don't know how much, trillions of dollars, Google, and it just gets sent to different people 5 minutes from them and, you know, around the world. Around the world. And some of us are over here talking about, well, I don't have an audience, and I don't. You understand how much time I don't have. You had the time to tell me that. Remember, this is the voice of the person saying it to me. You had the time to tell me all that. Do you know how many times? Side note, I get message comments on my YouTube channel that will never see the light of day that say, "This was 60 minutes of word salad." You watched it for 60 minutes? Well, first of all, thank you. Second of all, you watched it for if I watch something that I think is word salad in the first 2 minutes, maybe I'll give it 5 minutes. Maybe I'll give it 10 minutes. But you watch, it's just like Trump yesterday talking about how bad Bad Bunny's halftime show was. But he watched it. That fool watched it. Living rent free. Bad Bunny is living rent free in Trump's head. Your haters, you are living rent free in any hater's head. You know? So my point is, what harm will it do to try? Just try it. What if it could do this? Say that in the chat if you can see what I'm pointing at. What if it could do that? What if? What if it doesn't? What did you lose? That time you didn't already have anyway? Okay. Let's say you are a busy person. And when I tell you that I'm busy, I have to schedule time to talk to my mother, who I adore more than anybody in this world. I have to schedule 15-minute chunks of time to talk to her because that's how packed my schedule is. But I still will learn. What if you're so busy? If you have children, I have nothing to talk about because I don't have children. I cannot be in your shoes. I know that. I know that, right? But let's say you are super busy and you use that as an excuse not to take the 30 minutes to learn how to post a video or to film the video or whatever. And then the 30 minutes to do it, right? The 30 minutes to learn, the 30 minutes to implement. Last week. What if you didn't do that? So if you didn't do that, you have zero to show. There's nothing to show. You got no gain. But if you did it, let's say you did it and it worked. Like you got a couple of new subscribers. Awesome. You got data, you got experience, you got training, you got some sort of like metric that and signal that tells you that it's working. Let's say you do it, but it doesn't do anything. You got everything except the signal. You got data that it didn't work. You got training and you got experience, which you can use now this week to try it again and to try it again. If you were to do one thing for 1 year with consistency, you would become phenomenal at it, including doubting yourself and making excuses. Anybody hear that? Anybody? So what if that instead we make that one thing YouTube? Y'all got Meg Morris in the building right now. She's sitting here leaving comments. Meg, Meg Morris, few months ago, September, I believe. I know you've been posting since the summer, but a few months ago in September, I talked to Meg. And Meg was like, thinking through what she's going to do next with her YouTube channel, with her business. And type in the chat how many subscribers you have, how many views you got in the last 28 days, that kind of thing, if you can. Meg's channel is blowing up. I'm saying, yeah, Meg's going to go look for her stats. Meg's channel in the chat, Meg Morris, you can look her up if you're watching the replay. She's in our membership. Her YouTube channel is blowing up. It's about it's about plant-based food, how she lost 70 pounds, making food that actually tastes good. But she had doubts. She would tell you herself. She's had doubts. She didn't know if it was going to work out. But what she did that most people don't do is that she did it anyway. She did it anyway, over and over again, over and over again. 4,876 subs. How many subs do you think you had September 1st? A little over 4 months ago. I'm going to guess that it was less than 1,000. 300. Meg says 300. My point to you all is that, well, I'll say this. There's revenue streams from that. YouTube pays her. She has offers. She has a community she's building. She's building an audience. Meg, say a little bit in the chat about how it feels to have, if you don't mind, thank you, how it feels to have a group of people who, are coming together because of the work you're doing. How does it feel to get a comment that you've helped somebody? How does it feel to have somebody track you down and, let you know how you've helped them? She didn't start, it's incredible, mind-blowing, she said. She didn't start with a big audience, but she's building an audience. She's building it. I don't want to sound like a frustrated parent, but I'm not mad at anybody. I'm not upset. I'm just a little frustrated. And I would say disappointed if I wanted to be real. I'm not disappointed at all. I'm a little frustrated by some of what I'm seeing in the membership. I'm seeing a little bit, not all. Most of it is like, yeah, I'm counting this as a win. And I did this and I posted something. I tried and that's a win. But I'm a little concerned about people who are just like throwing their hands up like, I don't know. I haven't had a chance to look at it. But yeah, I am going to pick on one person. I don't even know their name, so I'm trying not to pick on you. But they said today, I started the 5-day challenge. I skipped through a lot of it. Problem is, I don't have any sales. What? Baby girl. What? 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 Again, we could break bread. Like, I'm not upset with you. I just don't understand it. I don't have it in me to understand that. I want to change my circumstances. Therefore, I want to make more money. I have this information for free. I'm not studying it or doing anything about it. Let's change that. Next is promo. So I did have a line leading here back to audience with this, but I erased it because it looked a little weird looked a little weird. Let's see if it'll look different with a different color. I think this was the color. Yeah. You're going to promote your offer to a growing audience, and you get to do both at the same time, promote and grow the audience. That's what we do, by the way, on YouTube. The video is promoting you or your offer or both to people who already know you while also growing that audience. It's pretty leveraged if you ask me. Okay. Social. What are people on? Y'all on Instagram? Y'all on Threads? Anybody try Threads recently? I love Threads. Threads is booming, but it's not going to be like that forever. Threads is cool, but it's not going to be like this forever. It's going to be over in like 2 years, in my opinion, in my guesstimation. Email nurture, lead magnet, school, lovable, stay in all these different ways. I'm not going to get into those ways because it's all in the classroom. And if you upgrade to VIP, you get access to all of the tools that make the learning a lot easier. It gets you to your goals faster because the VIP, which you can go into our classroom, click on the 360 pass and upgrade to VIP, that gives you the tools for Lovable, for Stan, to work hand in hand with them, for YouTube, etc. But you're going to promote. You have your offer. You got your mindset straight. You got your audience. You're building your audience. Even if you have 2 people, if you had 2 people in front of you and you had an offer and those 2 people could get help from your offer, are you going to be silent? Are you going to say, well, I don't have 100 people, so I'm certainly not going to talk to these 2? No. You're going to talk to the 2 people in the audience. Does this make sense, everybody? Tamoya says, the VIP is definitely worth the investment, and I'm only 2 days in. Thank you. Because we're going to get to that in a minute. I'm going to talk to you about why that's the case in number 6. Number 5, sales. Sales comes down to conversations. Every sale that I've ever made has been on the other side of articulating value and understanding what the other person needs and trying to meet them in the middle. So that can be through copy, which is words on a page. That can be through your sales page on Stan or on Lovable, or it could be in a DM. Copy could be a DM that you send to somebody and then they send you a Cash App payment. You know, it doesn't have to be fancy at all. It doesn't have to be a big funnel, which you can graduate to a funnel. But until you have sales, don't worry about the fancy stuff. That's why I love Stan, because Stan is so simple. I like school and love school because it's so simple. But people over here saying, well, why don't you talk about ClickFunnels and funnel making and all that? And I'm like, listen, I use that. But I don't see you with one sale, let alone trying to optimize your sales. Have you gone door to door? Like, have you done one-on-one? Have you jumped on a conversation, a phone call with somebody? Great. You know, honestly, you simplify. Everybody here, listen to me, please. Simplify. If you haven't made many sales on something, don't worry about the fancy, complex version of the sales system. Please get back to one-on-one conversations. Get into somebody's DMs after they have signaled to you that they are interested, meaning you post something on Instagram, for instance. You make a little video where you talk about your offer. Somebody likes that post or comments. DM them. I talk about that on day 2 in our 5-day challenge. So if you want exact words to say and all of that, it's there. But does everybody understand me when I say, I'm just saying it in real time, so it's just, I need everybody to really hear me. Conversations. Don't go to the next big complicated thing until you've optimized the one-time sale. Confidence. Goes back to mindset, of course. But confidence is not just about being bold and like, oh, I can work the room and I know how to handle objections and all that. Confidence is also and mostly in understanding what you're offering is valuable. I can talk about your first 5K to strangers on the internet all day long because I know how valuable it is. So I feel confident in that. So if you're having trouble selling, take a look at the offer and make sure you're super confident about the offer. Anybody getting an unlock there? Make sure it doesn't just sound good or seem like you should sell that. Or if I sell that, I'll make X amount of money. Make sure that you feel confident that the thing somebody's going to buy from you is super helpful to them. And then your confidence internally will turn into a different energy that will start to convert in your conversations. 6, super important. Most people skip this. Most people stop here. Delivery. To the same point I was just making, at the end of the day, this all comes down to what you're actually offering people. Starts with the offer and ends with the offer. You see what I'm saying? That's why I have a post inside of your first 5K that talks about your why. Your why. Like why are you offering this? Why are you doing the thing you're doing? Why is this the thing you think other people need in their lives so much so that you're asking them to pay for it? You're going to keep your word, deliver what you said you would. You're not going to do less than what you said. And then you're going to over deliver. If you keep your word and then over deliver, you'll be rich. You'll be rich. I think back to 12 years ago or so when I was trying to like make ends meet, and I thought when I talked about earlier, if you missed it, I talked about how I didn't understand why I was broke all the time and I had talent. I was a good person, etc. But you know what I didn't have? I didn't really have an aligned offer. I had a bunch of ideas and a bunch of stuff and a bunch of things I would do to make money, but I didn't have an aligned offer that I could keep my word and over deliver on over and over and over again. So I'm going to make this even more clear. Let's say you need $5,000. That's why you're here. Until you make $5,000, I need you to focus on one offer. You hear me? I need you to focus on one offer until you make the number you're trying to make. Now, don't say, oh, 10 million. That might work if this is your offer of a lifetime. But right now, for our purposes, find an offer that is aligned, that doesn't have to be the end all offer, and focus on it. Don't do 15 different things because if I put it all out there, these different people are going to spend. If they're not buying one thing, what makes you think they're going to buy 10? Focus. Have a really great offer. Get yourself right in the head. Start building your audience. Promote it. Don't sit there and say, well, I can't put myself out there like that. I can't do that. You want to eat? You want to take your kids to Disneyland? Promote. I'm going to stop at promote for a sec. Well, no, I'm going to finish and I'll come back to promote. Then start having conversations with people. Promote it. See who likes it, who signals to you that they care about what you're saying, and then have a one-on-one with them. And then deliver it. Going back to promo. Y'all know, who here knows that I went on a mini tour in January, that I went to New York and Atlanta for a fireside? Let me know in the comments. Who here knows that? Who here does not know that? You could say, I don't know that. I didn't know that. I know DC was postponed, but it's going to be even better this time. Don't worry. But who here knows that? New York. Do you know how many people in New York? Do you know how many people in New York wrote to me or commented or did this, this, and the other? I heard you were in town. I didn't know about it. I'm so sad. I heard you were just in town. Or somebody saying, Arlan, when you coming to New York? In the last 3 weeks since I've been there. Do you hear me? Yes, the recording is available on my YouTube channel, by the way. Here's my point about that. How many people here saw me post about it? Even if you don't live in New York, you saw me post about it. I posted about it everywhere, constantly, for 2 weeks because it was a quick turnaround, and I didn't want it to be an empty room. So I posted about it. No, Lisa, I'm not saying they weren't paying attention. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that we can post and post and post, and the algorithm may not get it in front of everybody. It's not going to get it in front of everybody. It's not going to get in front of everybody. It's going to get in front of a lot of people over and over again, but then a ton of people it's not going to reach. So when you say, well, I can't send another email. I already sent one on Wednesday. I can't tell them about my offer because I already posted about it on Instagram. I can't post about it again. People are going to think I'm thirsty. Listen, I got an entire water brand where I say this. Entire water brand that I own. More information on that soon, okay? Stay hungry, not thirsty is what it says. So I don't want to be thirsty. But let me tell you this. If you don't promote, people are not going to know. And so when I did my second wave of promotion, that second weekend, that's where half the people who were there, 100 people in New York, 100 people in Atlanta. When I did my second week of promotion, that's when the second half of the people found out about it. So you cannot say, oh, I can't. I mean, you can do whatever you want. You're an adult. But if you're trying to sell and you're trying to make more money and you're trying to get your offer in front of people, you cannot sit there and say, I've done enough. Or I don't want to be embarrassed because I'm putting myself out too much. Has not being embarrassed gotten you far? I get embarrassed all the time. My peers, I'm going to be real honest with you. I'm going to be really honest with you. My peers in venture capital who don't know me well think that I'm a little bit of a joke. And they think that because I'm over here always doing content. I've been doing content since who knows when. And I'm over here selling stuff. And they're doing like $1 million deals and stuff. Let me tell you a couple of things about that. I've seen people. I have been sent screenshots of people making fun of me who say they're my friends in venture capital. Let me tell you a little something about that. My venture fund is currently raising a $200 million fund. I am the largest stakeholder, meaning I own the most out of any person of that venture fund. So what we've already done, if that takes off, and what we're building, if that takes off, I make, millions and millions and millions of dollars. I have put multiple people through college. I even helped a Black woman in the UK become a commercial pilot in the last couple of years. ... All, etc., etc., etc. Do you think for 1 second that I care if some person who is already willing to lie to my face thinks I'm not cool? I can tell you with all the honesty and transparency in the world that I do not. I simply could not care less because they don't know. If you think about this group, 15,000 people who are benefiting from this group for free, that's impact. That makes me happy every day. When somebody writes me and they're like, "Hey, you did this," or somebody, it happened over the weekend. Somebody said something major to me. I mean, I helped them with something major. Some seed that I planted a few years ago, and they're like, "Hey, did you know that I do this?" I found out that they raised like $70 million, and they are big, big, big time doing stuff, very quietly. And I'm like, "That's cool. Did you see me post about it? Did you see me do a Instagram post about that? No, because it happens so often, and I know it. So again, when someone tells me I don't want to be embarrassed, I can understand that. And I can say, I'm not going to make fun of that because it's real. But I want you to dig deep and figure out why that matters. Would you rather be embarrassed, but also on a cruise with your family while somebody says something? Oh, she ain't nothing. Or would you rather be scared of what some random person who probably won't even say anything about you could say if you did something? It's all a bunch of ifs and ands and what ifs and whatnots. So, nothing I've ever said, ever, and including in this time together, is all inclusive as like every single human being watching this, everything applies to them because there's always an exception to the rule. Some people, for instance, have a domestic partner who would hurt them if they were to put themselves like literally. I'm not saying every person needs to hear me and do this stuff, but I'm saying to you that the majority of us who are making excuses loudly and proudly really could take a day, do some journaling, do some strategy, crack open a book, watch a couple of YouTube video tutorials, and be on the other side of that limiting belief in 24 hours. I'm known as somebody who can't hold my tongue. Like I cannot just sit back and just like, oh, not my monkey, not my show. I can't do it. I wish I could. Oh, I wish I could. So when I woke up to not just one, not just two, but like three or four different things on YouTube comments inside this membership, elsewhere, people writing me all the time. Oh, people writing me constantly. I can't do this because I'm like, ooh. I'm so grateful that I decided I'm homeless, but I'm still going to try. I'm broke, negative bank balance, but I'm still going to try. I have a family around me who depends on me, but I'm still going to try. I'm a Black woman uh, who has no connections, but I'm still going to try. I'm so grateful that I did that. And I'm not saying everybody can or should or would. I'm saying for those of you who are hearing me, 'cause that's really all I can do, right? What did I say over here? I can't teach this to you, but you can learn it. I'm saying anyone who is hearing me, anyone who is feeling me, I need you to rise up. I need you to buck up. I need you to say now is the day. Today is the day. And I appreciate you all. You say I'm funny. You all are funny too. Y'all, you have some funny comments. So you're really good there. I appreciate you all, but I have to say everything has to come from you. I cannot want this for you more than you want it for yourself. I can't want it for you more than you want it for yourself. Now, Michelle McCain just said, I have spent the last week with your chat, your GPT, 500 pages, 10 scripts talking about YouTube, thumbnails, hooks later. My page is live. My stand store is live. My school has a facelift. You are the best. Michelle, if you would like to, you do not have to, but you have a book about it. Would you like to say your age, please, Michelle? If you would not, just say so in the chat, say I would not like to say it. Because I want, again, for everybody to understand. I'll say this, Michelle is over 50. Okay? Michelle McCain is over 50. And she's putting here in the chat, she is 73. And let me read this to you again now that you know that she's 73. Michelle McCain, 73, says, I have spent last week with your chat GPT, 500 pages, 10 scripts, thumbnails, hooks later. My page is live. My stand store is live. My school has a facelift. Not one excuse heard. Not one. Not a one. Brittany Blocker says, I signed on 5 clients and I have retained 3, all because of your trainings. That's amazing. It's not all because, it's because of you, Brittany. It's because of you. But thank you. If part of it, if the seed was my trainings, that hopefully will help other people. Say, let me go ahead and just get in there and just give it a try. Let me just go ahead and press play on day 1 and watch the whole thing, or watch half of it today, come back tomorrow, watch the other half. Whatever you need to do, let me go ahead and just try. Because if it doesn't work, I know you're going to say it won't. I hear from y'all, this is not working. So prove me wrong, but hopefully prove me right. As I said before, when you upgrade, is anybody here who's still here upgraded to VIP? Can you say something in the chat? I'll read it out loud so other people understand what the VIP, why they should do it. You have to say everything that comes with it because, stuff is stuff. But why has it helped you? Why did someone say that 2 days in, it was already worth their investment? I'm curious about that. Give people a chance to type a little bit. But if you want to upgrade to VIP, you go into our classroom, you click on 360 Pass, and it'll help you. In like 1 or 2 clicks, you'll be upgraded. If you want to do it through a payment plan, do a search, a keyword search at the top of our membership for VIP or 360 Pass. And it'll take you to a few posts that I've done that give you the links to those payment plan options. Okay, so Evelyn says you get more trainings, more engagement. Hold on, it's moving. Oh, sorry, more encouragement. You get more trainings and more encouragement. Totally worth it. 360 next. It sounds like that's the 50 you're doing. Prompt Shop in a Box has helped me so much. Like, it's a business in a box. Yep. Janae said that. Prompt Shop in a Box is a full business if you let it be. Lisa says VIP is too cheap. I've been scattered. It gave me the direction I needed. Cheap. What is the word I use? Can't think of my own phrase, but it's at least the $999. If not, one of the things that's in it has a retail price of $2,500. One of the things, that's Stan OS. So it should be $3,600. I could certainly sell that to an audience of people who have made their first 100,000. But I choose to do it this way for 360. Sabrina says a strategic move to have closer proximity to Arlan and serious members. Interesting. Because every Tuesday, including tomorrow, we have a 1 hour conversation like this where I even do more. I only do this every blue moon in the free. So every week scheduled, you get an hour with me, ask me questions, and I teach stuff. Susan says on payday, I'm going to join. The free purchase is awesome. I can only imagine the VIP. Exactly. And think about how you could apply this to yourselves, everybody. We talked about lead magnet and email nurture. Do you understand that your first 5K is my lead magnet? Because I'm going to over deliver in the lead magnet. So a lot of people are like, well, let me go check out this paid thing. Tamoya says, I upgraded on Saturday and the classes are definitely a bonus. The way you explain the OS and how to make them effective gave me a guideline. I already know how I'm going to use YouTube OS to build out my podcast. Awesome. And everybody do this too. This is what I like to do sometimes when I'm thinking about an offer. So when I made this one, I was like, oh yeah, this is good. Take one of the OSs that you get, like you get Prompt Shop in a Box, you get YouTube OS, you get Stan OS, Lovable OS, and just say, if one thing out of one of those OSs happened, it would be worth the price. So let's say YouTube OS. YouTube OS. What if with YouTube OS, you were able to put up your next 5 videos? And not just any videos, but the precise videos that are going to get you the most subscribers and people who are then going to convert into actual paying customers. Would that be worth $360? I think so. I think so. Lovable OS. If I saved you $360 worth of all the money you would have spent on paying extra for credits on Lovable and figuring out AI and maybe taking a class over here that costs $500 and you didn't even know who the person was, you just saw it on an ad, would that be worth it? Yes. So that's what I would do. It's like, I wouldn't look at it like, oh, I don't know if this is worth. Think about what's one thing I can get out of this that I think I can get out of it, and I'm going to go in there and get that. Some friends of mine and I, we all make more than $1 million a year. Some of us make, I make, $1 million a year. Some of them make like 10 million a year. We're all in this little group, and it's mostly Black women. And we talk about, like, when somebody is offering, not one of us, but someone else is offering, like, oh, for $30,000 you can be in this mastermind, or for $50,000 you can have this VIP day with me. You come into the little group. Thanks, Sammy, for joining. Appreciate you. Sammy just joined. 360. We'll come into the group and we'll say, has anybody ever done this with this person? And that's a great back channel. You could do that, have that group for yourself. Has anybody ever tried this? And what I noticed about all of us is that there's never really been a time, unless somebody was like just super scammy, where people were like, oh, I regret paying that. I regret paying the 100,000. I regret paying the 50,000. Every time somebody's like, this is what I got out of it. Like somebody might say, I didn't even go to the classes. I didn't even go to the meetings every month. I got this one thing that they told me they do with their customers that was worth 10 times the amount. Does that make sense? So this is how people who are millionaires are thinking. People who are making money right now all the time. They didn't inherit it. They didn't get it in the lottery. They make it. And that's what we think is, okay, I'm going to make a decision. I'm going to make a decision to invest in myself. I'm going to go to this thing, or I'm going to pay this person. I think a VIP day is a great example. I'm going to pay this person $50,000 for one day with them. And because I'm making that decision, I am going to make that worth 10 times. or 6 times it or 2 times it. Because I am on a mission. This is what Sam did when he came to meet me. He won a contest. Sam came from Canada and he didn't have a lot of money. And he's like, it cost me money to get out here. I won it for free, but it cost me money to get here. I'm going to find something that makes it worth it. And he found his takeaway. So that's what I want to encourage you to do that. When you upgrade to VIP, don't look at it as like, oh, $360. Because as someone said above here in the chat, don't call it cheap because she may raise the price. Because it really is much, 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 much more expensive than that in reality. But don't look at it as like, oh, $360, I don't know. Think of it as like, let me find 48 hours and find my $360. What is that $360 power move that it just gave me? That's what I would be doing. I'm going to look for it. What does Denzel say? I'm leaving here with something. I'm leaving here with something. Leave there with something. I did not plan to do this today. I did not plan to come on to live here, your first 5K today. I may post this on YouTube. I have to take a look at it. But tell me what your biggest takeaway has been. What has your biggest takeaway been from all of this? And it can be something specific. It can be something that's a mindset shift. It can be something you're about to go do. Can y'all still hear me? Can you hear me? Yeah, sounds like you can. Everybody read what's been said in the chat. And if you're watching this on replay, read what's been said in the comments as the biggest takeaway. Yeah. I know you all have so much potential. Like it's just there. I don't have to discover anything. I don't have to claim anything. All I have to do is remind you that it's there. I'm like Glinda the Good Witch. It's been within you the whole time. Okay, everybody. Go do something. Go do it for me, but more importantly, do it for yourself, please. Yeah, go do something. I can't wait to see what you all do. Come back and tell us, hey, I just got this new customer. But talk about how exciting it is to have that customer, what you can learn from that customer, what you can give that customer, what this means for the future, what you learned about the sales process, or what thing helped you find that. Like when you get a customer, make sure that you know where they came from so that you can reverse engineer and keep doing the same thing. If you have a customer and you don't know where they came from, that's half a customer. Because they may tell you the gold. Oh, I found you on Instagram. It was a 30-second video. I really like the fact that you put a video up. What you gonna do then? How many more videos you gonna put up? A bunch. A bunch. Oh, I saw your YouTube video from 3 months ago. What you gonna do then? Put up more YouTube. Oh, I was kind of interested, but then when we got on a call for 15 minutes, that's when I really understood you would be the person to help me. How many more cards are you gonna do? 50, 11. Right? There's a wealth of information, training, resources, and tools for free inside of your first 5K. There's absolutely everything you need without paying a penny. And then if you want to do it faster, you upgrade. Simple, right? But you have to be the one that does it. You have to be the one that takes that initiative. And for you, those of you who have, and those of you who are, and those of you who just getting out of bed this morning was your win, I am proud of you. I am proud of everyone here because this is a win. Watching this, learning here, asking yourself questions, answering questions, that is a win. Doesn't have to be big and bold and have a bunch of money attached to it to be a win to me. I just need you to know it and believe it. I can no longer sit back, idly back, and just say, listen to you say, oh, I can't do it because I don't have an audience, or I can't do it because I can't figure out what to offer, or I can't do it because I don't have time, or I can't do it because. Why are you here if you believe all that? Sabrina just said that this training right now is worth $999. That's what my peers are doing all the time. I'm not begrudging them that. I'm just saying it's true. They're going to have this. This is your, pay me $1,000 and I'll tell you what I just told you for free. So if that's the case, which I agree with you, Sabrina, 100%, if that's the case, and by the way, with a different audience, it's even more, because you say the same things to different audiences for different prices. It just hits them differently because they have different circumstances. But if you believe that, you just spent that money and you're not going to do anything about it. You just spent this time and you're not going to do anything about it. That's not going to work. You're going to do something about it. And I know you will. And I believe you will. Let's go. February, let's go. If you're watching this in November 2028, let's go. This hadn't changed. I can tell you that right now. This belief hasn't changed. All right, y'all. I'll see you soon.